Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. The NFL season rolls on as we wrapped up week 4 last night with a big win for the 49ers over the Rams. Sorry, we were not live yesterday as we typically are. Had some stuff come up, but we are back today with a 3-man crew of myself, T-Gods, and Q. Matt is on vacation. He will be back with us tomorrow as well. So today we will be back with some calm or chaos, talking about some guys who really struggled, and some trust or bust, talking about some guys who had some big-time games this week. And, of course, we'll wrap up with some waiver targets and a buy low, sell high candidate and some trivia with Q as always. So let's get right into it here with some calm or chaos, starting at the quarterback position. Matt Stafford. Now, typically we're live on Monday, so he almost got away with not making it to calm or chaos this week. But 6.76 points on 48 pass attempts, completed 32 of them, 254 yards, 0 touchdowns, did throw a pick and lost a fumble. Is this calm or chaos for Stafford?
Big chaos. Huge chaos. Quarterback 22 right now, and you have Cooper Kupp and A-Rob on your team. Get better.
Luckily, Cooper Kupp is still eating and somehow producing more than he did last year when it comes to like being on the field more and getting more targets, but Matt Stafford is Cooper Kupp or die, and it's been die a lot.
Yeah, I don't get it. 2 games under 10 points.
Dude,
1 game at like 10 points exactly. He has a 1 game with 11 plus.
Yeah, he has been absolutely abysmal. If I have any other options at quarterback, I'm probably looking elsewhere and avoiding Matt Stafford until I see this O-line get it together. O-line's been brutal. He's been sacked 16 times this season, with 2 of those games having 7 sacks in each of them. It's been outrageous. If he plays any decent defense, he's going to get beat up a little bit. And the Dallas defense has looked good. So even this week, I wouldn't trust him. Next on the list, Trevor Lawrence, 9.66 points, 11 for 23, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 4 fumbles lost against the Eagles defense. Calm or chaos here for Trevor Lawrence after a big week in week 3?
I'm still calm. He was like the top waiver ad coming into this week, and we literally said it's not going to be a good week, and the weather just helped on top of the Eagles being a dominant.
Yeah. Completely agree. I think the weather really affected Trevor Lawrence in this one. I'm staying calm, but a little bit nervous. That was really ugly. Bad weather games, I would probably try to avoid Trevor Lawrence moving forward.
He must have baby hands. He fumbled the 1 ball and just running. No one even touched him.
Yeah, that was weird. But apparently he has 10-inch hands, which is
I don't
bigger.
believe it.
Typically like the around 8 inches or whatever it is where guys are like small hands like Kenny Pickett. But we'll see.
Why do you know that? Why do you know about Kenny Pickett's hands?
Kenny Pickett's hands have been roasted all over the internet. Yeah. He's got tiny hands.
All right.
Hold a Whopper Jr.
I guess I'm asleep.
He's the guy in the Burger King commercial with the tiny hands. The last one for the quarterbacks here, Derek Carr, 11.52 points, 21 of 34, 188 yards, no touchdowns. Did add 40 yards on the ground, though, which was kind of cool to see, but still a very bad day overall. Is this calm or chaos for Carr?
I'm staying calm. This is his first game under 17 points, and he still threw the ball 34 times. And it was just a huge Josh Jacobs game. I'm fine with Derek Carr still. I'd still start Derek Carr over Stafford.
Yeah. Honestly, that's not an awful take. I think I would agree with that too. He was pretty decent. He wasn't doing anything crazy through the first 3 weeks, but he was pretty consistent. Really the first down game for him, I guess I would say. But better days are definitely ahead for Derek Carr. Leaning more towards calm as well. All right, let's get into some running backs because there were some ugly performances this week, starting with Tony Pollard. After it seemed like maybe he had the chance to take over this backfield, 1.8 points, 8 carries for 6 yards, and 1 catch on 3 targets for 2 yards. Calm or chaos here for anyone starting Pollard out there?
Calm, because he's a backup. He's still technically a backup, so not that LA did any better, but I don't know. I think he must have heard us saying that we were probably going to start ranking him over Zeke, and that kind of scared him. So I'm still calm.
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. I'm staying calm also. I wasn't really expecting much. Like I wasn't really starting him confidently unless I was desperate. Like I was in one league starting Zeke and Pollard, but most leagues you weren't really trusting him as a startable running back, so you should be all right. On the other hand, the Jaguars running backs, both of these guys struggled against the Eagles defense. Also, James Robinson, 2.9 points, 8 carries for 29 yards. Did fumble, but did not lose the fumble, so didn't lose any points for that. And Travis Etienne, 3.2 points, 8 carries for 32 yards, and 1 target, no catches. Calm or chaos for one of these guys, both of these guys?
Catch me saying chaos for J-Rob.
Matt
No
was-
shot. No shot will I ever do that. I'm so calm on J-Rob. ETN, though, I mean, what were you expecting, really?
Yeah, it was once again a bad game, but those 3 points just don't look good on Etienne's game log, where he still hasn't done anything besides that. So calm, I guess, on both, but I was never really liking Etienne anyway. Definitely calm on J-Rob.
Yeah, calm on James Robinson for me. Still a little bit chaotic on ETN. You just want to see him do more in the passing game. He was doing a little bit better before this rainy game, so I give him a little bit of a pass. But like I expect him to be the pass catching running back in this offense, where James Robinson's going to get the bulk of the carries.
This will probably be the only game this season where he outscores James Robinson.
Yeah,
and he barely
true.
did.
As long as ETN doesn't get a touchdown vulture or anything like that, of course.
Yep.
James Robinson has been the touchdown guy for this team. Jonathan Taylor, number 1 overall pick, 3.3 points, 20 carries for 42 yards, 1 catch on 3 targets for 1 yard, and lost a fumble and got banged up in this game. Calm or chaos here for JT?
Beyond chaotic. This is absurd.
I'm slightly calm. I saw something where last year through the first 4 weeks, he literally ranked in the same area where he is right now, like outside, like 22 or something. And then from then on, he was goated. So, I mean, now he has an injury, so I guess it's a little more chaotic. But if I'm just basing it off of last year, I'm going to stay calm. But the offense as a whole is ugly.
Like, I get that. I get what you're saying. But to run the ball 20 times and end the day with 3 fantasy points, like, bro, that is chaotic.
Yeah. That is 100% chaotic. I'm a little bit nervous. He just hasn't looked efficient, and this Colts O-line has not looked as dominant as it did last year. So that's the thing that's making me nervous. I'm not fully chaos yet. Like, I still think he's going to bounce back. He'll be all right. Better days are ahead. But obviously, you want to see him healthy too. Like, obviously, the injury is something to be worried about. If you are looking to grab his backup, Nyheim Hines will probably get the decent chunk of the work, but probably not all of it either. So definitely a situation to monitor at this point and keep an eye on. I'm nervous for sure.
There's never been a team that's needed Carson Wentz more than the Colts.
Stop. Carson
Matt
Wentz
Ryan is a skeleton.
Destroyed this week too. But yeah, Matt Ryan, I think it's almost borderline assault having him go out there and get hit by defensive players at his age. He just looks fragile out there. Citizen. Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on to the Rams running backs, Cam Akers and Daryl Henderson. I feel like one of them has been on calm or chaos every single week. Both of them this week. Akers 1.3 points, Henderson 6.9, ended up getting the majority of the snaps in this one. I think I'm just full-blown chaos on this backfield.
100%. Yep. It's going to be like this all year long. I honestly don't even want to talk about it every week because we're going to just repeat ourselves like 17 times. So 18 times.
I think at this point, if you're still trusting a Rams running back in your lineup, please consider not doing that anymore.
Like, I was, for some reason, feeling a big Daryl Henderson game, but that's not really that big. It was bigger than Cam Akers, though.
Yeah. Neither one startable at this point in time unless you're desperate. Next guy on the list, Kenneth Walker, 3.4 points. He had 8 carries for 29 yards, 1 catch on 1 target for -5 yards. Did see 36% of the snaps, which is his most yet, but still a dismal day while, what's it called? Rashad Penny, obviously, had a huge day. We'll talk about him later. But is this calm or chaos here for Ken Walker?
Chaos.
Especially for you, someone who was riding Penny coming into the season. Pause.
I'm still leaning towards calm. I'm obviously a little nervous because Penny looked really good in that game. But I think this is midway through the season. We'll start to see Kenneth Walker get more of the work like we did with Javonte last season, where Melv was still kind of the lead guy through the first few weeks. But Penny did look really good. I don't want to take that away from him. So if you're trying to start Walker anytime soon, don't. Maybe a buy low candidate that you're trying to like get for dirt cheap right now. And then halfway through the season, maybe he'll have some value for you. But I don't think it's going to be in the next few weeks or so. It's probably going to be closer to like week 8, 9, even 10 for Kenneth Walker to get more of that work for sure.
Right.
All right, last running back here, Naji Harris, 7.4 points, 18 carries, 74 yards, and absolutely nothing else. Is this calm or chaos for Naji?
Chaos.
This is chaos, especially like for where you drafted him, and he's the RB 26.
Yeah.
Like that. Go ahead.
Last year, week 1, he had like 5 points. Then for the next like 12 weeks, he had nothing under 20 points, and he's already had like under 15 since week 1. And now you have a rookie quarterback, and who knows what he's capable of.
I'm still leaning towards calm just because I'm a believer in the volume. Like, obviously, the production hasn't been as good as it was last year, but the volume is there. So that's why I'm staying calm for now.
But he just played the Jets, though. He just played the Jets. And next week he has the Bills, and then he has the Bucks after that.
Then the Eagles.
So, like, then Miami, then the Eagles. So it's going to be ugly, like, the next, like, month. So don't get your hopes up.
Buckle up, buddy.
Yeah. Buckle up for sure. I guess you're right. I'm still leaning towards calm. I'm a believer in the talent, but definitely is a bit nerve-wracking having Naji
0
Harris
targets.
That's
what's
0 targets.
That's not Naji. That's why we love Naji.
Pickens didn't come in till late, so we'll see what this whole offense could change up a little bit starting next week for sure. Quick question in the chat here from Aiden the Beast 888 said, should I trade Marquise Brown for Miles Sanders and Alexander Madison? He just lost Javonte and he has Cook.
Yeah.
I would. Hopefully.
I
mean, D-Hop's coming back. Boobies looked real good. And if Dalv goes down, you have like an RB1. So,
and also Kyler Murray will implode eventually.
Whoa, that's cap right there. But I would agree. I think I would lean towards accepting this as long as you have some decent wide receiver depth. Like if you only have Hollywood and then like your second wide receiver is DJ Chark, obviously don't do that. But if you have some decent depth, I would do that for sure. Madison's good insurance, and Miles Sanders should be a pretty solid RB2. We'll talk about him a little bit later in the show also. All right, back to the calm or chaos here. Moving on to some wide receivers. Amari Cooper, 1.9 points, 1 catch on 4 targets for 9 yards, and he now has 2 games with fewer than 5 points and 2 games with 23 or more points. So boom or bust, Q. This isn't looking good for your top 5.
He was my lock this week.
Top 5 argument. But how are we feeling about Amari Cooper, calm or chaos?
I wish it wasn't so 50-50. I wouldn't I wish he had more better games than these type of games. I'm going to stay calm. He's still the number 1. This game was stinky against the stinky Falcons.
I'm on the fence. I don't know. I could make a case for both.
Yeah.
I'd start him at your own risk, I guess. I mean, what else really is there to say? It's just a weird offense.
Yeah. I think I'm just sitting in the middle here. I think I'm probably rolling him out there again if I have to. But if I have a better option, I'm definitely considering it. He's just been super inconsistent. It feels like I just want to see more consistency out of him before I'm fully back to trusting him all the way.
Kinda to spoil, I'd start Amari Cooper over every guy that we're about to talk about next outside of maybe Deontay Johnson because of where you took him.
Oh, don't do Drake like that.
I kind of like Drake London. I also kind of like.
I mean, when your quarterback only completes 7 passes, that's going to hurt you. But we're about to talk about him.
Yeah, we'll keep it moving. Gabe Davis, 2.3 points, 1 catch on 3 targets for 13 yards. Is this calm or chaos for Davis, who has now been pretty quiet? Obviously missed 1 game, but he's been pretty quiet since that week 1 explosion.
This is definitely chaos because the last 2 games, he played 96% of the snaps and then 98% of the snaps. And he combined for just about 9 fantasy points in those 2 games.
And 9 targets of Josh Allen's 99 pass attempts.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'm leaning towards chaos as well. Really want to see more from Gabe Davis. It's pretty much Stephon Diggs and then Josh Allen's legs, and then whatever else happens. Like, it's been kind of all over the place. The Bills' last 2 games have been pretty chaotic after the first 2 dominant wins. So, leaning towards chaos here for Gabe Davis.
He has 5 touchdowns in his last 5 games. Only one of them are from this year.
I know.
Yeah. We'll see if he can get back on track. A guy who may not be able to get back on track, Allen Robinson, 2.7 points, 2 catches on 6 targets for 7 yards. And he now has 3 of 4 games this season with 4.3 points or fewer. Calmer chaos here for A-Rob.
He's already
probably
busted
the most disappointing debut, I'd say, of anyone this season. He's a wide receiver 72.
$46 million wide receiver 72.
I don't get it. And the snap share, 97% of the snaps, 92, 92, 99. He played 99% of the snaps last week and got 2.7 points. What is happening? I don't get it.
We kind of know what's happening.
Unfortunately,
do we?
Unfortunately, he might just be washed.
No.
He might just be washed. Obviously, this team hasn't been that good, but if Tyler Higbee's out targeting you and out receiving you,
don't hate on my man Higbee though.
All right, but Ben Skowronek though, he might have more fantasy points this year than Allen Robinson.
I would bet that he does.
I don't even know how to spell his name. He's wide receiver 70 on the season.
Oh my God,
A-Rob 72.
A-Rob 72. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're getting outperformed by Ben Skowronek at this point. And last year, it was the same thing. We thought he was going to bounce back at some point, and he didn't. It's now been almost 2 seasons worth of Allen Robinson struggling. I'm really nervous if I have him at this point. I'm just leaving him on the bench and hoping that things turn around.
Literally supposed to be the wide receiver 1 this year. Well, at least coming into the year. I got fooled.
Yeah, I got fooled as well. I thought he was going to be a lot better. We'll see. Hopefully better days ahead for A-Rob. This guy just said waiver pickup. Josh Jacobs or Damien Pierce. That is some juicy waivers to have out there.
Please get them both.
That's anything. Yeah, you do need to get both. Truly, should get both. But
yeah, I would lean towards getting both if possible. If not, I think I would prefer, even after hating on him a bit last week, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah,
Thank you. Give him the love he deserves.
Yeah. We were a little bit too premature on hating on Jacobs. He bounced back well. I think I'd rather prefer him. Damien Pierce is on the worst team. I just think Texans are a dumpster fire. There might be some down games.
Ironic that the Raiders won the first game after Josh Jacobs went nuclear. I think he only has one more of these games left in him for the season, though. That's typical Josh Jacobs.
All right. Settle down, please.
He'll be consistent enough to get you some decent numbers. So I think he'll be fine. All right, let's keep it rolling. Terry McLaurin, 3.5 points, 2 catches on 6 targets for 15 yards. The Terry of old, calm or chaos?
I'm kind of low-key staying calm. Is that weird? His numbers haven't been that bad. And to be honest, I literally have Terry in 0% of leagues. I didn't expect him to do anything. So for him to be putting up 12-ish at least every week, except for last week, but the first 3 weeks, he's had super decent flex numbers, wide receiver 2 numbers. So I'm fine with what he's doing so far. I didn't expect much to begin with.
Yeah, I'm fine with it as well. I'm still calm as well, just because he was relatively consistent the first 3 weeks, but I just think there's not as much upside as there was before he was surrounded by more guys that can actually catch passes. So I'm leaning towards calm, but I think the upside is not going to be where you wanted it to be this season.
I didn't think that any of the other guys would actually affect him the way that they are, like Curtis Samuel and Dotson.
Yeah, Dotson's been a huge red zone target, and Samuel's been a target monster. So definitely taking away from Terry McLaurin's upside for sure. Drake London, 3.7 points, 2 catches, 7 targets for 17 yards. This is calm or chaos after 3 straight good games before this one.
I guess you're
I'm saying calm. I'm not even mad. He had 7 targets and only played 80% of the snaps. So like, I'm so fine with like one down week. I don't think this is him like coming back down to earth. Like, I think he's still got like crazy potential this year.
Yeah, I'm with that as well. Scary stat for you, though. Mariota has the same amount of pass attempts as Justin Fields does the last 2 weeks.
God.
That you hate to see.
Only the last 2 weeks, though.
Yeah, last 2 weeks. Obviously, he was attempting more earlier in the season. I do think Drake London will get back on track. I'm staying calm on him for sure. Deontay Johnson, 4.2 points, 2 catches on 4 targets for 11 yards. Calm or chaos here for Deontay?
Chaos.
Yep.
Same switch as Naji, where got lots of work last year, lots of targets, and new quarterback. Both stink.
I'm staying calm.
Okay. So what I was gonna say is like he's been putting up like pretty much the exact same numbers as Terry.
That's what I was about to say.
But like I expected much more out of Deontay than I did Terry. So like I'm a bit more on the chaotic side.
That's a fair point. I would definitely agree with that. He was about a millimeter from a touchdown this past week, which would have probably avoided him being on this list.
Yeah.
I think Pickett will obviously will change a lot of the offense. So it's still kind of wait and see mode for what's going to happen. But for now, I'm still trying to stay calm here. He was very consistent the first 3 games. He's still going to get a lot of volume. I'm staying calm. Rashad Bateman, 4.7 points, 3 catches on 6 targets for 17 yards. Only played 44% of the snaps because he did get banged up a bit with a foot injury. But he was only playing around 65% the first 3 weeks. So calm or chaos here for Bateman.
I don't know. It's weird because like I wasn't.
This is another guy I wasn't high on.
Yeah. Like, okay, so I guess I'll say chaos just because like he's not playing that much. Like he's getting like running back snap share numbers. Like last week he played 44% of the snaps. That's like really, really bad.
Yeah, I think that was more due to the injury. I would hope.
Hope.
They're not using him on the field at often. Like 66% is where he peaked this season.
Is Devin Duvernay ranked over him? Has to be.
I don't know. Bateman's wide receiver 42 on the season.
All right, okay.
Duvernay is 27.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. A bit interesting. I'm still trying to lean towards calm, but I want to see it more consistently from Bateman. Need to see it a bit more.
If you had both, would you ever consider starting Duvernay over him?
I just feel like I can't. I believe in Bateman's talent way more than Devin Duvernay's fluky touchdowns. Guy. Yeah.
At what point do they become not fluky though? Because he's getting them.
I don't know. We'll see.
Cracks.
If he continues going, like, yeah. How do you guys feel about Lil Kev saying Hamdan wide receiver 1 on the Commanders?
I'm not gonna say anything because he probably doesn't remember we have a bet that Terry finishes over him. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean they're probably pretty close. Dotson was not that great last week either, so they're about the same. All right, let's keep it rolling. Get back on track to the tight ends. Love talking about the tight ends that stink because a lot of them stink. Could have included some more guys on this list, but kept it to 4. Dalton Schultz, 0 points, 0 catches on 3 targets. Is this calm or chaos here for Schultz?
Chaos. He stinks.
Cooper Rush.
Yeah. I'm just hoping to see Dak back sooner rather than later. If I'm a Schultz owner, I'd leave him on the bench until I see Dak back.
As an Eagles fan, I want to keep Cooper Rush out there, though. Unless he's better than Dak, which he might be.
He's 4-0. He's never lost a game, though. So
never lost.
I don't know.
Eagles are changing that if Cooper Rush is still in, for sure.
Easily.
Please
Easily.
Please still be in.
Kyle Pitts, 3.5 points, 1 catch on 4 targets for 25 yards. He had 67% of the snaps last week, 62% this week after 84 and 93 in the first 2 weeks. What is going on with Kyle Pitts? Calm or chaos?
Chaos. If I'm a Pitts owner, I'm over it.
Yeah. We need like a whole segment just for how disappointing Pitts has been over the last year and a half.
Yep.
Because he's been hyped up and 1 touchdown in a year and a half is insane. And yeah, if you have like Gerald Everett, I'd start him over Kyle Pitts right now. And Tyler
I would
Higbee definitely.
easily.
Higbee, I'm starting a lot of guys over Kyle Pitts at this point. I need to see it more, and I need to see it consistently. One decent game is not going to bring you back on the Kyle Pitts train at this point.
You literally just have to rip the Band-Aid off. Just like last week, a lot of people probably benched DJ Moore and didn't like doing that, but it didn't hurt because he didn't do much.
Yeah, really didn't hurt that bad, though. George Kittle played last night, 4.4 points, had a close touchdown as well, but 2 catches on 4 targets for 24 yards, and now 2 games back and less than 7 points in both of them. Calm or chaos here.
He's like a new
that's got to be
lineman.
Go ahead. Ew.
Off the block.
That's so ugly to think about. That's so upsetting, but it's true.
Don't say that, Q.
He's not wrong.
I saw something that said that he should have been on the Manning cast every time there was a passing play just because he was not getting the ball. Should have just been doing something else.
Yeah. I don't know what's up with Kyle Pitts, George Kittle. I don't know why I went back to Kyle Pitts. My brain just exploded. Either way, George Kittle, I think I'm still rolling him out there, but it's not pretty right now. Hoping for more next week for sure. Darren Waller, 5.4 points, 3 catches on 5 targets for 24 yards, back-to-back down games. Calm or chaos here for Waller, the baller.
Who would have thought we'd see any of these guys on this list, first of all?
I know. Some big names.
This is the only one I'm staying calm on.
I think more calm on Kittle than Waller.
Why, though?
Because there's not much outside of Debo in San Francisco compared to like Devontae Adams and Matt Collins. I'll give him some respect. And Hunter Renfrow when he comes back. Darren Waller would, I guess he might be the bottom of the food chain here.
But like he still has 2 like decent games. He has a game with 12 and a game with 17. So like I've seen him at least get more than 28 yards in a game. Like I didn't see Kittle do that yet.
Yeah. For Waller, the targets have at least still kind of been there. Still had 5 targets in each of the last 2 games. You obviously want to see him get more down the field targets and end zone targets, but I'm leaning towards calm also because really there's not much else that you're starting over Kittle and Waller. But
Tyler Higbee.
It's a little bit nerve-wracking. Yeah. I mean, Tyler Higbee, I might start over all of the guys we just talked about, which is...
I easily am.
Will Disley over Kyle Pitts. He's at least been top 10 tight end over the last 2 weeks. I don't think Kyle Pitts has sniffed top 20.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. One more thing before we get moving on. Gator loves being in the chat, loves talking about his players. So is Drake London the top target in Atlanta?
Sure. Ask the coach.
Easily is. Not even, it's not like,
we should
not
say
a question.
No, because obviously he wants to say yes.
Yeah.
Or you just know he wants to hear yes.
It's fine. He's going to swing them to me by the end of the week. So
if he has another stinker, will you take him?
Yes.
I'm a believer.
Easily. I've been a believer.
Yeah. All right. Today's sponsor is Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest way to play fantasy football, and you can get started with their Thursday contest this week. They have a Thursday night football contest just for Thursday, and they also have one that's Thursday night and Sunday night. Get the primetime games. A lot of money to be won. They also have contests for baseball, hockey, and basketball. So whatever you're looking for, they have it. And when you sign up, make sure you use our code SUPERFB for our 100% deposit match for up to $100. So if you deposit $100, you will get another 100 matched free. And again, our promo code is SUPERFB, SUPERFB. And you can play on the Underdog Fantasy app for iOS and Android, or sign up online at underdogfantasy.com.
I put in 100, and guess what? It was 200. It was 200. Yeah,
it's like magic. It's like magic, dude.
Crazy. So much fun to be had.
So much fun. All right, let's do some trust or bust, starting with quarterback again. Jared Goff, 41.22 points, 26 of 39, 378 yards, 4 touchdowns to only 1 interception. Is this trust or bust for Goff?
Easily trusting.
Yeah, and he didn't even have his top weapons.
What quarterback do you think he is on the season?
I'm going to say quarterback 5 because I'm looking at it right now.
Well, he got spoiled.
That's not fun.
Let's go.
He is number 5 on the season. Absolutely insane. Would not have said I'm trusting Jared Goff as a quarterback option. But if I am stuck with Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins. I'm not against starting Jared Goff.
You can fact check me, but I saw something that said the Lions put up the most points in the NFL this year.
And they're 1-3.
They have the worst defense too, so Goff's going to be throwing.
Yeah,
a lot.
I also
saw
the nastiest shootout ever.
Yeah, that was nasty. The two teams you would never expect that from.
Yeah.
I saw Jared Goff has been in 2 or 3 of the top 20 most high-scoring games in the NFL. That's disgusting.
That is pretty gross.
He did go first overall, so.
He did. He has been putting up some numbers this year. Put some respect on Jared Goff. Geno Smith might deserve some respect as well. 35.7 points, 23 of 30, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. Passing also added 49 yards on the ground on 7 carries and ran one in himself. 35.7 points. Trust or bust.
Bro, I can't trust Geno. Yeah. I can't trust Geno, but also numbers do not lie. They never have, and his numbers are pretty good, and his upcoming matchups are pretty juicy. So, like, if you want to trust them, sure, I wouldn't be mad, but personally, like, I can't. I won't bring myself to do that.
Would you consider starting him over Matt Stafford?
Yes. Okay, yeah, I would. I really would.
Matt Stafford's like the threshold.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would consider starting him over Stafford as well at this point. It's scary hours for Matt Stafford. But Geno Smith, I'm still leaning towards bust as well. Not fully sold. Want to see it on a more consistent basis, I guess. He did have one down game, but just want to see more. He does have good weapons there, so this could continue. I wouldn't be shocked.
You know who I'm not sold on?
Who?
Russell Wilson.
31 points, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, 29 yards rushing, and another touchdown this week. You're not trusting?
Do you know how many passes he threw?
25.
25. Not good enough for me. Like that. Like his best game of the year is the week that he throws the least amount of times. Like smells a little fluky.
I think you got to expect more though with now Javonte Allen. I doubt the Broncos want to give Melvin Gordon the ball, who's probably going to fumble it, or Mike Boone or Latavius Murray. I think he's going to have to throw more, and Judy looked like he was a little better last week, and Sutton. So I think we're going to start seeing the Russell Wilson that actually can cook up something.
Fair. I hope so, and I don't think it's unlikely, but as of right now, I'm not like excited for Russ.
Yeah, I'm not fully sold back, but I am leaning towards trust. I have still been rolling him out there as my starter. This is a good sign to see. The offense did look a little bit more in rhythm, so leaning towards trust here for Russ for now. Moving on to the running backs, T-God's guy, Josh Jacobs, 34.5 points, 28 carries, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also caught 5 passes on 6 targets for another 31 yards. Played 89% of the snaps for the Raiders, whereas only peaked at 72% during the first 3 games. Trust or bust here for Jacobs.
I never didn't trust him. I didn't think that he would have a game like this, but I know that he's like a solid RB2 that would just lock in for like 13 points every week. Like I didn't expect much out of Josh Jacobs, but you love to see this because this is the Raiders' first win, and they're like, you know what, this worked. Keep giving it to Josh Jacobs. So maybe you could look at it like that. I don't know.
Just circle the second matchup with the Broncos, and I guess he'll go off again.
I hope so. But no, I don't know. I trust. I
think I trust. I don't think the other running backs there are much of a threat. Even though we talked about Zamir White last week when T-God said, who should we be worrying about? Definitely not
nobody. Stop
Definitely
playing.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm trusting Josh Jacobs. I'm back in as a low-end RB2 with obviously the upside to do this. Miles Sanders, 29.6 points, 27 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also caught 2 of 3 targets for 22 yards. Trust or bust here for Booby.
Rain game. Rainy day. Running the ball a lot.
Just because his touches are still consistent. But obviously, Jalen Hurts is still a threat. But the offensive line is great. And he seems to be getting the majority of the touches, if not like all of them. So that's a good sign.
For where you drafted Miles Sanders, I think you are more than happy with what he's given you at this point. He's had at least 11.6 points in 3 games. He has one down game against the Commanders where you kind of expected a bit more, but he's been getting at least around 15 carries a game. Obviously, like T-God said, this one was a little bit fluky with the rain. But I think the Eagles are going to be up in a lot of matchups. Like the rest of the Eagles schedule is actually insane.
Favorite.
They're playing the Cardinals. Obviously, the Cowboys twice should be a little bit tricky, but the Steelers, the Texans, the Commanders again, the Giants twice, the Bears, the Titans, the Colts. Like none of these defenses are really going to scare you. The Eagles' schedule is juicy. Miles Sanders, I think I'm back trusting him as a similar tier of Josh Jacobs, maybe a little bit below him. But
I hate to agree.
Like he's looked better, and he's on a
Definitely better
contract year, so he's going to be playing to try and get that bag.
I'm in. I'm in
on Miles Sanders. Q, your boy Rashad Penny, 28.7 points, 17 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, broke 2 long runs in that game. Also caught his only target for 6 yards. Is this trust or bust here for Penny?
If he was playing the Lions every week, absolutely would trust him, but they're the worst rush defense in the league. It's going to be a bust for me.
Bust for Q on his eye.
He's seen 0. I think another tweet, I wish I knew these names to reference back, but he's seen 0 or 1 target in his past 7 of 10 games. So even including yesterday, Sunday, I think he had
1 target. Yeah, just
1 target. So not very good in the receiving game in a game where they were going back and forth scoring the ball. But just when we thought that Rashad Penny was dead, I think he gave himself a couple more weeks of relevance. And I'm sure we'll talk about it when it comes to selling.
Yeah. Rashad Penny, I am not trusting either. I'm with you.
Yep.
I'll talk about it in a little bit. Damien Pierce, 27.9 points, 14 carries for 131 yards, broke that long 75-yard touchdown run. Obviously got the touchdown there as well and did catch all 6 of his targets for only 8 yards.
That's gross.
Trust or bust here for Damien Pierce.
I'm in, bro.
Yeah,
I am in on Damien Pierce.
As bad as this team is, he's their one bright spot outside of Cooks.
Yeah, he's like the cheat code for the team. Like,
I mean, yeah, he's looked relatively good at this point. Like, you can't take away stuff from what he's been doing. He's going to be what this offense needs to basically muster up anything. Not in love with Damien Pierce, but if you're looking to plug in an RB2, I think he's good. Out of the guys we've just talked about, Damien Pierce, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, is Damien Pierce better than those two or below both of them still for you guys?
I think him and Miles Sanders are tied, but Josh Jacobs over both of them. I think I would agree. Slightly take Miles Sanders. There probably is the bias there, but he's on a better team, and we know that they run the ball. That's their identity, so I'll take Miles Sanders over Pierce.
Yep, I think I would agree with everything you just said for sure. Next running back here, the last one, J.K. Dobbins, 22.3 points, 13 carries, 41 yards, found the end zone, and then caught all 4 of his targets for 22 yards, found the end zone again. Trust or bust here for Dobbins?
I don't know. Somebody tell me how I'm supposed to feel because I don't know how to feel about JK.
Matt was here. Matt. He was one of our sits this week because Matt said I'm keeping him on the bench till further notice, and he's probably going to start him now.
Way to go, Matt.
Looking back to J.K. Dobbins before he got injured in 2020, he was kind of a touchdown machine when he was playing weeks 11 through 17. He missed 1 game due to injury, but every single game he scored a touchdown. And obviously we saw he was able to find the end zone twice in this game and only a second game back on 50% of the snaps. They look for him a lot in the red zone, and I think he's just going to continue to get more work. So I'm leaning towards trust. This team obviously is not the best passing offense. We saw Mark Andrews and Bateman struggle this week. So I think they're going to lean towards the run a little bit more, and Dobbins is going to become that number 1 as he continues to get healthier throughout the season.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a fan.
I'll go with
JK.
Right. I want to be a fan. I want to see it again. Doesn't have to be.
I do want to see it again,
but
I do want to see it again. But I'm leaning towards trust for sure. All right, let's do some wide receivers. DK Metcalf, 21.9 points, 7 catches on 10 targets, 149 yards. After being a bit up and down early, has he found his spot?
Oh, you meant overall? I think you meant just this week.
No. I meant for like the season. Like he started off pretty slow. In the last 2 weeks, he's kind of turned it back on. are we back to fully trusting DK in your lineup?
Yes. Gino's been putting up the numbers. Gino's been doing it. DK's been doing it. Everybody's doing their part.
Rocket's been doing it. But I feel better that we could see a game like this out of him. So, yes, I will trust him.
22 targets over the last 2 weeks. I think I'm back in on DK in my lineup. Definitely feel better as a flex, but don't hate him as a wide receiver 2 as well. Jamal Agnew, 21 points, 4 catches, 6 targets, 50 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A fantasy darling a bit last year. He was kind of good. Trust
you guys knows. Bust.
Bro, why is he on the list?
Bro, he got 21 points. People are going to be looking at him on waivers.
Yeah, but what do you do besides this?
He had 2 catches the whole rest of the season.
You're right. I'm agreeing with you. I'm on the bust train, but just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page.
All right. I appreciate you checking in with us.
All right, another one to check in on Corey Davis, 18.4 points, 5 catches, 7 targets, 74 yards, and a touchdown. We're believing?
I think so.
Stop.
Hold on.
Corey Davis,
on there now.
I mean, he has been pretty good, but
I'm trusting. Look at the numbers.
I know, but it's Corey Davis. We've seen him have hot times. Last year, I think he was about the same at the start of the season. Like, he had some pretty good games. It was like, oh my God, are we trusting Corey Davis? And then he fell off a cliff. So,
well, that's because they had a quarterback carousel as well.
Yeah, and he was a bit banged up too.
I'm trusting Corey Davis more than Elijah Moore.
I don't hate that.
Obviously, yes, 100%. I'm doing that.
So you guys got baited into drafting the wrong.
I got debated so hard into drafting Elijah Moore. I feel like an idiot.
You want to jump off a jet?
Yeah.
Seriously, I might.
Chaos for Elijah Moore. I'm still not trusting Corey Davis. I need to see it more. I've been burnt in the past. I can't fully trust him yet.
Zach Wilson is an upgrade, though. I'd rather take decent. Zach Wilson over 69 throws by Joe Flacco in one game.
I like it. Allen Lazard, 17.6 points, 6 catches on 8 targets, 116 yards, and did not find the end zone. Trust or bust for Lazard.
I'm not all the way there yet.
Trust, dude.
I am leaning, bro. Like, his numbers look good.
They are. They're good.
And he scores
2 touchdowns in 3 games. They don't have many people that are going to take targets away. His target share has been increasing each and every game he's been back. I'm leaning towards trust for Allen Lazard right now.
Me too. I mean, I'm probably not starting him.
Yeah.
But if I have him on my bench, I'm very happy. Very, very happy.
Yeah. When bye weeks come around, Allen Lazard is a good piece to have on your bench right now for sure.
Oh, yeah.
George Pickens, 6 catches on 8 targets for 102 yards and started to get a lot of the targets once Kenny Pickett came in. Trust or bust here for Pickens.
Still not trusting.
Yeah.
Still not trusting, but some of the plays we've seen him make, you're pretty excited about.
This could be his guy.
It could be.
Way more of a fan in Dynasty than redraft leagues, but in general, I'm still not trusting. Need to see more.
I mean, if he's out there on waivers, though, I would definitely consider trying to get him.
Yeah, scoop him up. Tight end Mo Alley Cox, 26.5 points, 6 catches on all 6 of his targets, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. Some vintage Mo Alley Cox, baby. Trust or bust.
Don't chase it. Bust. Do not chase Mo Alley Cox.
I'm in the same boat. I'm bust. Last week, Jelani Woods caught 2 touchdowns. I don't know who's going to be the consistent tight end on this team, and I don't think there is going to be one. So, bust.
As long as Jack Doyle doesn't come back, there's no consistent tight end.
Even Jack Doyle was so inconsistent. He drove me up a wall.
Kobe Fleener.
Oh, my God. Stop. Yeah. Bust for Mo Alley Cox. How about Will Dissly, 13.9 points, 4 catches on 4 targets, 39 yards, found the end zone. And he now has 3 touchdowns in 4 games this year.
Trust.
Right. He's so touchdown dependent.
He is.
Therefore, I cannot trust.
Can't trust, but maybe worth an ad if you're one of those guys dealing with the Kyle Pitts headaches and whatnot.
Imagine starting him over Kyle Pitts. It'll probably pay off.
It's not even a bad take. It's not a bad take.
It's getting that bad. Dave did not like the Kobe Fleener mention. But yeah. All right. I think that's it for trust or bust. So let's do some waiver targets. I will start us off with Tyler Algier. I doubt he's available in most 12-team leagues because most people held on to him. But according to Sleeper, he is only rostered in 32% of leagues. Cordell Patterson is now on IR. This is Algier's backfield to lose, and he is definitely worth an add if you are a running back needy team. Mm-hmm. Go out there and get him.
Hopefully that Huntley guy does not vulture him.
Yeah, definitely someone to also keep on your radar if you're looking for a running back, but definitely favoring Algier at this point. T-Gots, waiver target, what do we got?
It's a boring one to some people, but to other people, like me, they believe that defenses do matter. Mm-hmm. They do indeed matter. And the number 3 defense is out there on waivers right now. The Jags. Imagine that. I know, not the juiciest, not the spiciest, but their next 4 games, the Texans, the Colts, the Giants, and the Broncos. Like, sure, the Broncos might step it up, but at least the next 3 weeks, you're going to have the number 3 defense playing some very
Especially
not good.
Week.
Some very not good offenses. So, Jags D, they need to be scooped.
Worth picking up. I like that. Q, what do you got?
So my guy's actually owned in 0% of leagues. And Sean, you were going to mention him, but I cut you off earlier. It's going to be Dion Jackson. It may be just a 1-week rental, depending on how hurt Jonathan Taylor is, but he is dealing with the ankle and turf toe still. So that's 2 injuries, short week. He's built like Jonathan Taylor, not Nyheim Hines, who's more of the receiving back. So he could be a good 1-week rental against the Broncos D that we just saw Josh Jacobs run all over. So he could be that 3-down back, and then Hines come in. So could be a good juicy pick with being owned in 0. He only has negative 0.3 points on the year. So anything is up from now.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I like it. I like that take. I do think he could squeak in, especially if you're desperate, like you don't have the depth. You have Jonathan Taylor. Dion Jackson might be a good pickup for sure. All right, let's do some buy low, sell high. Q, right back to you. Who do we got for your buy low, sell high?
So my buy low is a guy that I actually am not a fan of. It is going to be Dalton Schultz. I'm not a fan of him, but I can't deny that he is somewhat good. The 4 games he played last year with Cooper Rush, I'm going to only count 2 because week 17 and 18, he may have been playing backups, and he dropped 15 or 18 points in those 2 last games. But the 2 games, week 8 and week 10, he only had at least 3 points in each of them, maybe less. The owner may be a little concerned if there is a quarterback controversy and Dak doesn't come back for a little bit. So now's the time to buy him and then hope that Dak comes back and things are back to normal. Yep. My sell high is going to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who somehow found the end zone again this week, but it was a magical touchdown. If he didn't score that, whatever. I know the saying, but the touchdown was that weird spin move by Mahomes and little oop to him. But we also saw Isaiah Pacheco cut into the work. He scored a touchdown as well, and McKinnon almost had a touchdown also in that game, but dropped it. So the work was very evenly split. I can't see him finishing as high as he is. So I think as long as he keeps scoring these touchdowns, it's just gonna keep getting higher and higher, and then it's gonna be a big drop off. So I would sell while you can.
I do like that as well. T-Gods, what do we got? Buy low, sell high.
Buy low. Michael Gallup. I know some people in here hate him, Sean. Maybe Q, I'm not sure.
No, I was actually going to pick him.
Oh, all right. Thank you. But yeah, Michael Gallup, I mean, he scored in his first game back. You love to see that. He didn't get that many targets. I'm pretty sure he only had 3. But regardless, first game back, he's still coming off the injury. The fact that he scored, you love to see it. And he only played 64% of the snaps, and he's out here getting touchdowns. I think that he only gets better when Dak gets back. So I don't know. I'm a big Gallup believer. Sean, I know, is a Noah Brown fan.
And Matt's a hater.
Yeah.
And Matt is a hater. But I'm not. I'm a believer in Mr. Michael Gallup, and I say go buy him for the low.
I don't hate it.
Thank you.
I can understand.
No. Am I doing my sell high now too?
Yeah.
All right. My sell high. I personally am not going to do this because I believe in him, but I know some people still don't love Josh Jacobs. But if you're ever going to sell him this year, obviously this is the time. Like he just absolutely blew up for 30, almost 35 fantasy points. Obviously that's not going to be every week thing. Like 20 is even like a good game for Josh Jacobs. But for the people that don't like really don't like him or like don't believe in him, like now's the time. Like this is better than ever to sell him. I don't recommend it, but I'm just saying like he's at his peak right now.
Yeah, he might be at his peak. After such a huge week, I don't hate it at all. My buy low is Naji Harris. I know we talked about him earlier. I know we talked about his struggles, but I'm a believer in the volume. I'm a believer that he's still going to continue to be a little bit more involved in this offense as the season goes on. Kenny Pickett is going to change the dynamic a bit, and I do think it will give this offense a little bit of a boost over the next few weeks as he gets more acquainted with it and gets a little bit more used to the system. Either way, Naji Harris, I'm still a believer in the talent. Touchdowns will come. The Steelers' offense has been bad. The O-line hasn't been that great, but I do think better days are ahead. And I'm sure there's a ton of frustrated Naji Harris owners out there. I'm buying low. I think he'll still finish the season as a top 12 running back. Sell high, Rashad Penny. After such a huge game against the Lions defense, I'm not in love with him. Like I mentioned earlier, I still believe that Kenneth Walker is going to be more involved in this offense. And we even saw it in this game with 36% of the snaps. Penny still has a hold on this backfield for now, but coming off the biggest game I think he will have this season, I'm trying to sell high and see what I can get for him.
Love it.
All right, let's do some trivia. I need to find a piece of paper because I forgot.
Was it your first episode?
Yeah,
two. Just two.
All right, relax. How many questions do we have?
2.
All right, hold.
All right, while we're holding, we could talk about this. Gator just offered me, he offered me Drake London and James Conner for Josh Jacobs and Brandon Cooks. And I said, hell no.
Yeah.
That's the right answer, right?
Yes.
Like, I'm giving him the two best. I'm like Josh Jacobs. I'd rather have Josh Jacobs over James Conner, and I'd rather have Brandon Cooks over Drake London.
2 boomer busts is what you'd be getting back.
Right.
All right, I'm back. I'm ready. Let's do some trivia, and then we'll answer Peter's last question. And if anyone else has any questions, if you are still here, definitely drop them in the chat and see if we can answer them for you.
I don't think Gator's even here anymore because he keeps texting me about a trade. Really bad trades.
Yeah, he's panicking.
All right. First question. Who, as of right now, 4 weeks in, who are the top 5 rushing leaders? So who are the top 5 running backs? They're all running backs that lead.
So rushing yards?
Yes, rushing yards.
This year?
Yes.
Top 5 rushing yards leaders this season.
4 weeks in.
Who's feasting?
And chat, please interact.
Oh, it is going to pop up on screen. You just can't look. You got to be disciplined. You can't look at the chat.
Well, no, I'll show it if it comes. I won't show it. I don't think it comes up. Does it?
I don't know. Just don't look.
I can see the chat on my screen.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can't see.
You're right. Yeah.
Oh, just switch to the private chat. That's all you got to do. Switch to the private chat.
All right. I won't see any of it.
That's what I've had it on the whole time.
Oh, dude, you're missing all the comments.
Some of them pop up on the screen. Oh, not all of these.
I've been posting them on there. I need 3 more. Has he got that many yards though?
For anyone who missed it,
this is
I'm
tough.
asking the top 5 rushers.
This is
4 weeks in.
This is unbelievably difficult.
Really tough. I have 2 and I'm like going brain dead.
I have 3 now, but I'm not confident in any of them.
I'm confident in my 2. I'm pretty sure my 2 are correct. Running backs have been so weird this year.
Yeah, the top 12 running backs are interesting that lead in rushing yards.
All right. I'm locking it in. I
need
5.
I need like 30 more seconds.
Yeah, go ahead. Mine are locked in.
Close, Dave. Don't look at the chat.
Mine are locked in. I can't change. Unfortunately, I'm looking at Dapes, and you said close. I'm not feeling too hot.
Actually, he's not close.
What about Gator?
No. I mean, they all have like some common shit, but they both only have. I'm not even gonna say how many they have right.
I need to see how many I have.
Do you guys ready?
Yeah.
Are you still going?
No,
all
I'm
right.
good.
I'll go in order.
Guess. interesting. I have
Oh, I forgot D-Hen. Is D-Hen in it?
I have
Well,
2 of Dapes, and I have 2
All right, let me
I
just
have
reveal
3
these
of
damn
Gators.
answers. So, in order. 1, Saquon.
I got
How
that.
did I forget Saquon? He's
Oh my
clearly
God.
cooking, bro.
Oh my
2,
God.
Nick Chubb.
Got
I forgot him
that.
too. I forgot the 2 best running backs in the league right now.
3, Miles Sanders.
Got that.
4, Cordero Patterson.
No.
And
Any
5,
old head.
5, Josh Jacobs.
No. How did I not get that?
I got Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs. I put Damien Pierce bias after the last 2 weeks.
So did I.
Put Derrick Henry.
I did
bias
not
after
know
the
that
last 2
Miles
weeks.
Sanders was in the top 5.
And I put James Robinson bias because I like him.
Yeah,
How did I forget Saquon?
I thought
James
J.
Robinson
Rob
is
snuck
the
in
top
there.
10.
Yeah.
All right.
right.
You want to answer this question, or should we just go to the next? This one's
let's do the next one, then we'll come back to the
all right, this
questions
is
in
a
the
quick
chat.
question. Out of all the rookie wide receivers through 4 games, who leads them in targets? So all the rookie wide receivers from this year, who's the leader in targets out of the rookie wide receivers?
I hate this question.
And it's not gonna be like a Ray McLeod type guy, like who's barely, I guess he wouldn't even be in this question, but you've at least heard all these rookie names.
Ooh, I just looked at chat.
I know I cheated too.
No, I already have my answer.
I saw it pop up before.
I said
could.
Drake London.
I
I'll
was
just
going
say
to say Drake London as well. I saw chat, and then I realized it has to be Chris Olave.
it has to be
It
Olave.
is Garrett
Uh-huh.
Wilson.
No,
Garrett Wilson.
ew.
No shot.
Is leading Olave by
Oh my God, it is Garrett Wilson.
yeah, Garrett Wilson is
That's
39.
crazy.
Olave
They
is
were asleep on this
36.
He had 8, 14, 11, and 6. That's gross.
Garrett Wilson's an old man's name. Garrett
Garrett.
Wilson. Garrett.
Unfortunately, Joe Flacco is gone, so he only had 6 targets this week. So
He'll be
hopefully
back.
we'll see him get more involved. All right, we got a couple more questions before we get out of here, starting with Gator, of course. In another league, in the flex, who would you start, Sutton or Thielen against the Bears?
What kind of question is this? Start Sutton.
Yeah, please start Cortland Sutton. I'm in the same
Wait,
boat.
who was the other option? I already forget.
It's Thielen.
It's on the screen. It's on the screen.
Oh, I'm not used to that. I don't know who Thielen is.
All right, and then we got one other question here from Caden, the Colts fan. Should he trade Justin Jefferson for Jamar Chase and Hollywood Brown?
No.
I don't think I would.
No, because Chase and T. Higgins are like neck and neck so far. It doesn't really have anything to do with that, but all the values in Jets.
It depends on your roster construction, like how desperate you are for wide receiver. Like if you're flexing someone like Romeo Dobbs right now, like I understand wanting to do this. I still think Jamar Chase will probably finish around top 5, but I think Jefferson, in my book, is still going to finish at least top 2, if not number 1. I'm all in on Jefferson still. And Hollywood's going to lose some target share when Hopkins comes back. So,
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like
you think you would do this?
If my team's falling apart, like if I'm dealing with injuries and stuff, I think I'm doing this. I think I'm doing this because like you could still have Jamar who can easily finish over J-Jeff like in like certain weeks. Like I'm not saying like full year, but like there's gonna be weeks where Jamar finishes over him, and you could still trade like Hollywood away for something. Like if your team's falling apart and you need like a flex or something, and you don't want Hollywood,
Well, he's flexing.
So like
Jeff Wilson.
Yeah.
So maybe.
and I'm doing that then.
I think
I'm
I might do
100%
that,
doing
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, Hollywood will still be involved. I do think he will lose some of that upside when, obviously, like I mentioned, D-Hop coming back. But I think T-Gods has sold me. Jamar Chase and Hollywood for Jefferson. I think that's enough to get him, but it still hurts me giving up who I think is going to finish number 1.
Also, my condolences on being a Colts fan. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a tough year this year, bud. We did get another question here. James Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson, or Olave for his week 5 flex. I don't
You know who I'm going
matchups off the top of my head.
Olave's playing.
I'm pretty sure J-Rob is playing the worst run defense. I'm almost positive on that.
You sure the Lions aren't the worst run defense? Is he playing the Lions?
No, he's playing the Texans.
Okay. That also might be the worst run defense. That's a good call.
I like Olave.
I think I like I think I like James Robinson. I think I would agree with T-Gods here.
Thank you.
I still don't know about Andy Dalton. Michael Thomas could be back also. Yeah, I would lean towards Robinson.
It's just a preference thing with me. Like I liked receiver in the flex. I thought there's more of an opportunity there.
I agree, but I've been rocking with running backs in my flex this year, and I'm 3-1. So
yeah, Robinson's going to bounce back after a bad week last week. I'm still sticking with Robinson personally.
Just not Ramondre.
Yeah, don't go Ramondre. Whatever
definitely
you
do not do that. Please don't do that.
He looked
Robinson
good
or
this week
Olave.
too.
He did, but it's between Robinson or Olave for me. All right, I think that is a wrap. A little bit longer than usual. Got to answer some more questions today. Appreciate everyone stopping by. We will be back tomorrow with our Week 5 preview. So make sure you tune in for that. Matt will be back with us as well. And also make sure you use our promo code SUPERFB if you're considering using Underdog Fantasy. Also, if you are looking to get a jersey from your favorite player or team, we now also have a sponsorship with Fanatics, thanks to Old City Sports Network. So feel free to check them out at the link in our bio.
Discount
On all platforms, 20% off your order. Check it out.
Did you say 20%?
I think it's 25.
20%. Maybe it is 25%. I'm pretty sure it's 20 though.
Either way,
you're getting a discount on your favorite jersey. Go check it out. And also make sure you're following us here on Twitch if you're watching. Throw us a sub on YouTube if you're watching over there. We're on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, wherever you get your podcast for the audio version. And of course, on all social medias at Super Fantasy Bros Podcast. Literally just Google Super Fantasy Bros. You'll find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you'll find us. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.